Your common vernacular is crazy. Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be, actually, we're not gonna start it like that. There is a storm coming, which means I'm not going to work, which means we have plenty of time to read. So for the next couple of days, or however long this rain stays in this general area, and I'm gonna take this as an excuse to catch up on all the recent new releases that I have not yet read. Okay, I just got Middle of the Night by Riley Sager on audiobook, so I think this is gonna be the book that we start for the night. We're gonna see how far I can get into it. Again, no idea what it's about, but I also don't like knowing what thriller books are about before I go into them, so I feel like good timing, good thing, I don't know. Listening to it at my speed, it says we'll be done with this in 3 hours. Let's get her going. Okay, so it is the next day now, and I am 110 pages into Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. So I'm on like chapter 10, something around there, and I'm enjoying it. It's interesting because it kind of reminds me of a Stephen King book, just the way that it's written so far. And I've read a Riley Sager book before, and I did not get that feeling from it. So the fact that this feels so much like a Stephen King book, honestly, he's making it like 10 times better because I love Stephen King. It's kind of reminding me of The Outsider. If you've read that book, you know what I'm talking about. It's giving very much The Outsider, and I'm genuinely loving that fact. If you don't know what this book is about, it follows this guy who, when he was, I think like 9 or 10 years old, he was having a camp out with one of his friends in his backyard. And the little boy just vanishes out of his tent. Like somebody cuts a hole out of the side of the tent and Billy is gone. It's 10 years later, it's like 30 years later, and he comes back to the hometown, and there is new evidence about this case of just like this missing boy that vanished out of thin air. And so we're going from like a past and present timeline where we're going back in time to see what was happening when he was 10, and then we're in our present timeline. I have like a little under 2 hours left of this audiobook, I think, about 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I'm enjoying it so far. I'm thinking like at this rate, honestly, it'll probably be rated like a 4 stars, and I am enjoying the audiobook. I don't think this is one that I would be able to just listen on audio. The narrator's good, but it's kind of like bland. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend just listening to this audiobook, but doing both, like listening and reading at the same time, it's definitely hitting more. Wait, let me fix my mic. Hello. Okay, so it is a lot later now. It is like 11 o'clock, and I have finished Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. And look, my feelings on this are so conflicted, okay? Because whenever I was talking earlier about how this book reminds me of like a Stephen King novel, the writing definitely, I think it was like the writing and the vibe of the book was very Stephen King-esque. So I had a really, really good time reading the book and listening to the audiobook. However, the plot twist was so anticlimactic to me. I didn't guess it or anything, so it was like solid. It was good. Let me get my dust jacket. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, okay, to be fair, I haven't read enough Riley Sager books, I guess, to have an accurate, like, feel about how his books normally end up. This is my second book that I've read by him, and I don't know if that helped or hurt my overall thoughts. I don't know, like, I had more fun reading it overall than I did with, like, the general resolution to the story, if that makes sense. Like, I was just vibing the whole time. So there really was no, like, thrilling or mystery. I mean, obviously there was, like, mystery to it, but, like, there was no thrilling aspects of this book to me. I was not having any heart palpitations. So if you're wanting a book that's just kind of, like, generally kind of spooky, you're really just there for a good time, Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. So like a 3.5 star, because, like, this is hard because it's, like, If we're talking about a thriller specifically, obviously you're going to want to rate it on like the plot twist, the general vibe of the book, and you know how easily you guess the plot twist, stuff like that. But I would find it really difficult to rate on that scale because it didn't feel like a thriller to me whatsoever, which is weird. I think it's because overall, like, Riley Sager's books feel, like I said, I've only read 2, so this just like is me talking out of nowhere, but like from what I've read of him so far, the beginning of his books, or like the first half of the books, are very, very tame, and you're just kind of like getting information. And then the last half is when obviously things start to pick up, which is a norm of the genre. But there's just something about his books that feel more calming to me than anything else. Maybe it's just like there's not enough conflict. That could be it. Or I could just be super, super picky. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I just would not recommend it if you're looking for something that's going to give you like heart palpitations and like have you, you know, looking over your shoulder. I would probably go to Taylor Adams for that. But for what this is, I enjoyed it. And yeah, I just don't think I would necessarily categorize it as like a thriller. That felt like a cozy mystery to me, which sounds kind of, yeah. Anyways, earlier, before I took a nap, I started Bridesmaids for Hire by Megan Quinn, and this is definitely her funniest book by far. This is, I think, the 5th book that I've read by her, and I literally started laughing on the first page. I absolutely loved it. Let's see how far I am, because I forgot to check. I was reading it on my Kindle, and obviously I was listening to the audiobook. So I'm 128 pages into Bridesmaids for Hire, and literally I've just been giggling this whole time. Like, this is by far her funniest book, but also, to me, not necessarily the most interesting premise, because I feel like a Not So Meet Cute, the start of that book was hilarious. This is just probably the most interesting one. This is definitely her spiciest as well. The tension and the banter in this is crazy. The banter is off the charts. The tension between the FMC and the MMC is off the charts. It follows Maggie and what's his name? And Brody. Okay, Maggie and Brody do not like each other. He is her brother's best friend. She is a wedding planner, okay, and she's going on vacation. And she is trying, her purpose for going on vacation, or like one of the things that she wants to do while she's on vacation, is to hook up with guys, because it's just been, to her, it's been too long since she has hooked up with anybody. So that's her one goal. Then she ends up finding out that Brody, her brother's best friend, who they do not get along, is also going on vacation in the same, like at the same resort that she's at. She ends up finding out that the guy that he works for is somebody that could really help her career. So she ends up like rigging this situation so that they end up having to fake date, because she needs his boss to think that they're dating so that she can get her foot in the door with his boss. I'm enjoying it so far. The audiobook is phenomenal as always. There's just something about Megan Quinn's audiobooks that are so good all the time. I could literally listen to the narrators for hours. But yeah, I don't really have too many thoughts other than that. It's hilarious. The banter is bantering. The tension is tensioning. If you guys have not read this book yet, absolutely, I would recommend it already. I know I'm going to end up loving it. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm going to probably listen to the audiobook and read on my Kindle until I fall asleep tonight. Okay, I'm currently on chapter 10 of Bridesmaids for Hire. The rain here has pretty much stopped, so which means it's back to business as usual. But I wanted to give a little bit of a reading update because I'm like a little less than halfway through. Okay. No, yeah, like that's cool. I'm a little less than halfway through the book at the moment. And again, it's just fun. Like, it's literally hilarious. Their banter is everything. This is probably definitely for the month so far, but maybe for like the past couple of months, this has been the best book for banter. And I read a lot of bantery books last month for June. I'm loving this. I'm having so much fun. It's very much mindless. It's very much giving spice and not really anything else. And that's okay, because there's a time and a place for it. And I think this was definitely the time and the place. Right book, right time, if I do say so myself. But I'm going to do some chores, clean up a little bit. I've had Tyler and I had my brother stay over during the storm, and naturally they left the house a mess. So I'm going to be cleaning up for a little bit while I listen to the audiobook. IT. Please excuse the state of my face at the moment. I was violently ill yesterday again. I don't know why I keep getting sick, but anyways, I have just finished Bridesmaids for Hire by Megan Quinn. As expected, I loved it. I think I'm going to give it like a 4.5 stars. It was close to a 5-star, but not quite a 5-star. It just didn't quite have that 5-star-y feeling for me. However, I still loved it. I think this is probably one of the best books that I've read by Megan Quinn. And I think this is book number 5 that I've read by her. Absolutely love it. I also love the fact that she tied in so much with the Kane brothers from the Kane brothers trilogy, because that's one of my favorite trilogies ever. Absolutely loved it. And I love how she tied everything in with this book. Audiobook was amazing. Loved that as well. Can't really go wrong. It was just good. It was good. It was hilarious. It was the banter. Literally so good. It was chef's kiss banter, which I guess you could always pretty much expect from her. Anyways, any hoozle-deenie, I'm about to start my next book. So everybody was saying how The Paradise Problem was also hilarious. Shout out to Walmart for sending this to me. Thanks, Walmart. This is gonna be the next one that I start. I love how like bright and summery it is. Don't know what this book is about at all. Have no clue. Don't really care. I just know it's Christina Lauren, which means that I'm most likely going to love it. But I'm not feeling great, and I'm also like sweating profusely right now. You don't need to know that, but I told you anyways. We're besties now. So I think I'm about to go put like a t-shirt on because I'm wearing a sweatshirt and I was just like walking around and cleaning and stuff like that. Let's do a reading update. So sorry about the state of my voice. Also, we'll just talk about the glaringly obvious. I cut the crap out of my hair today. Now that we've got that out of the way, so I'm like 247 pages into The Paradise Problem now, and I am very much so enjoying it. The audiobook is great. I love everything about it. This one is, in my opinion, a little bit spicier than the other Christina Lauren books that I have read, which I'm not necessarily hating, but I'm also not loving either. This is an interesting book because to me, this feels very similar to Bridesmaids for Hire, and just in that, like, they're going on vacation because a while ago they got married for like this housing thing for their college, and he never told his family that they got divorced or anything like that, or like the marriage wasn't real. And so to him, or to his family, they are very much still married. And I'm sorry if you can hear, hold on, let me turn this off. There's an air purifier in here. Anyways, and so to them, like, he's very much still married, and he needs to convince them that they are actually in love and that they're married for his inheritance. So he needs his family to believe that they are still married and that they're happily married in order for him to get his inheritance. And I'm enjoying it, but like I said, it's just like, it's not necessarily similar in premise to Bridesmaids for Hire, but like the overall vibe is very much similar to Bridesmaids for Hire. And so I think for that reason, it's just kind of like, it feels done before, which is like no fault of the book, because I think if I had read this like after a thriller or something like that, I probably would have enjoyed it and like way more. And that's not to say that I'm not enjoying it, because I am. Lots of similarities going on. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, it's just very, very similar. I think, like I said, I probably would have enjoyed this way more had I read this like on its own, but oh well, that is what it is. I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I do a couple more things just like around the house. I have an hour and 5 minutes left of the audiobook, so I'm probably just gonna spend the next hour like doing laundry and stuff like that, just cleaning around the house so I can finish the audiobook, because I want to sit down and actually read for Novel Love Story, which is the last book for this video. So let's go ahead and get it going, because I think after this I really just want to spend time reading thrillers. I just want to spend like the weekend reading thrillers, so maybe that'll be the next video, who knows. But okay, I have finished The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. We are done. Look, to be honest with you, she didn't hit like I was expecting her to hit. She really did. I think like my general instinct is to give it like a 3.5 stars, to be so honest with you. It was good. And again, I think it's just because I read Bridesmaids for Hire right before this, and it was like essentially the same book. Bunch of family drama on vacation. they are fake dating. Like, it's literally the same exact story. So I just kind of got bored, to be so honest with you. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. Would I absolutely recommend it? 100%. This was not quite as funny as Bridesmaid for Hire. Like, if I'm comparing the two, which, like, you shouldn't compare the two because they're two different books, but, like, they're just so similar that I enjoyed Bridesmaids for Hire more than I enjoyed The Paradise Problem. So, if that gives you any indication. But I think the next book that I'm about to pick up, I think the last book actually for this video, is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I have, again, little to no clue. Actually, I have absolutely no clue what this book is about, and I'm not going to know until I start reading it, but I do want to get the audiobook for it, and I think I have one more Audible credit. So I'm going to get that, and then we're going to go ahead and start listening to it, probably while I'm making dinner, because I'm going to make dinner tonight. Hey, hi. Okay, it is the next morning. Oh, my phone's in there charging, but it's like 8 a.m., something like that. I got through 100 pages of A Novel Love Story yesterday, and I'm enjoying it so far. I genuinely had no clue, like, what it was about going into it, so I was completely blind. If you don't know what it's about, if you don't want to know what it's about, skip ahead, and you won't know. But if you do want to know what it's about, it follows this girl who, her and her friend would like always go on this trip together, and then at the last minute her friend couldn't go because her friend's boyfriend booked them a trip to Iceland, so her friend couldn't go on the trip with her. And then so she decides that she's going to go on the trip by herself. Her car ends up breaking down in this town, and then in this town ends up being from one of her favorite books. So like, she's literally getting to see all of these characters and all these places that she was reading about. And obviously to anybody that would be like the best day ever, depending on the book that you, depending on your favorite book, I guess. But yeah, so it's literally just about her and this guy that, like, he's not actually a character in the book, so we don't really know where he fits into the story yet. And she's trying to get her car working again so that she can go on this trip that she's trying to go to, because this was not her final destination. But obviously she's like having fun because it's like, yo, I've read about this for years. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I don't know where that is like numbers wise, but 350 page book. I'm 100 pages into it. Take that of what you will. But I have to do the dishes for the morning, so I'm probably going to listen to the audiobook while I do the dishes. And then I'm gonna sit down and finish it for the day because I have another video that I want to start this afternoon. So let's go ahead and get into it. I guess I'll give you my thoughts though on the first 100 pages. I'm enjoying it. This is my first book that I've ever read by Ashley Poston, and I really like her writing. I don't know exactly how I'm going to feel about this book though, just because like I don't have any strong feelings towards it. I love the writing. The writing is beautiful. There are a lot of lines that like I was listening to that it was like, dang, if I was actually physically reading it, I would be underlining stuff. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it like after I'm finished with it. So like, it's very up in the air right now because I don't have any strong feelings towards the book. I'm hoping that it changes. And it was interesting because I asked my Instagram yesterday before I started it if anybody like on there had read it and what they rated it. And it was either 3 stars or 5 stars. Like, those were the 2 ratings that I got the most. So we're gonna see where I fall on that spectrum because I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I think it has potential to be a 5-star read for me because like I said, I genuinely love the writing. I am going to read the rest of Ashley Poston's books. I heard The 7-Year Slip was amazing, and I don't know if people were saying that that one was better than this one. So let me know down in the comments if you thought The 7-Year Slip was better than A Novel Love Story. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. We're gonna finish this and then get cracking on no, because sugaring the spaghetti, kind of real, not gonna lie. kind of real. You know how you don't have that problem? By the pre-made sauce. Am I exposing myself? Maybe. Rayo's. That sauce hits every time. Hits every time. I'm sorry. I refuse to picture this man as like Icelandic blonde. I can't in good conscience think about him as that blonde. She's literally talking about his eyelashes being pale blonde. One thing I'm not gonna do is have an MMC that's blonde. I'm so sorry. For all the blondies out there, I love y'all, okay? But I can't do it. I simply won't do it. Okay, so I am like 200 pages into the book now. I'm on page 209, so a little over 200. And I don't think I'm liking this, to be so honest with you. It's just like there's nothing really happening. And everything that like is happening, okay, she's a little unsteady. It's like even when there's things happening, it doesn't feel like there's anything happening, if that makes sense. Like, it's just not... I'm really not invested in this at all. Like, at this point, I'm just kind of reading it to finish it. And I feel really bad saying that because I wanted to love this so much. But I think that's also part of the reason why, like, whenever books get hyped up so much, like, this was all over my Instagram, it was all over my TikTok, literally everybody was talking about it whenever it came out, and I think that's part of the reason why I waited so long to read it, because I didn't want, like, the hype to sway how I felt about it, and I'm really happy that I did that, because, like, it could also be that, like, storylines like this just typically aren't my favorite. There's just something about them that I'm like, I don't really care about, if that makes sense. I think the only, like, storyline that's been kind of similar to this has been 11/22/63 by Stephen King, and that's a time travel book that's not, like, jumping into your favorite characters or your favorite book. But it's just like, I don't know, bro. I'm not having fun with this. And again, I feel so bad. Like, I don't want to DNF it, but, like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I want to DNF it because there's only one question that I have that, like, general, like, while you're reading it, you would have, and that's who the MMC is and, like, why he's important to the story. And I just, like, I don't care. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it 50 more pages, and if I'm still bored, I'm probably going to DNF it, to be so honest with you. And I feel so bad saying that because, like, I know everybody loved it, but it's just not, I don't know. Again, Ashley Poston's writing, like, her writing is so beautiful, and I would, like, be underlining a lot of stuff just from, like, a writer standpoint, but, like, other than that, I'm not having fun. So those are my thoughts. I'm so sorry if you love this book. I love you. I'm just not loving the book. I really wish I did. But I will say, like, the chapter titles are pretty cute because, like, they're playing on, like, obviously what's going to happen in the chapter, but, like, just also different, like, book things. So, like, this chapter is called Romantic Gestures, and they're about to go on this, like, cute little date. But yeah, I really just am not having fun. I'm gonna get through 50 more pages, hopefully, and then we'll see if I can actually finish this, because I have 150 pages left of this book, and I want to do anything but finish it. So yeah, let's wrap it up, okay? Little bit of an update. I have officially DNF'd a novel love story. Look, it's just, I think it's that I'm in the mood for a thriller right now. Like, I think I'm heavy into my thriller era because romance does not seem, como se dice, interesting to me. Because I think, yeah, I've read 3 romances in a row now, and I've just like liked them less, and that might be because of the books. It's possible, but normally if I find myself like disliking multiple books in a row, I mean, I didn't dislike Bridesmaids for her. Anyways, I'm just gonna go with the fact that I'm in my thriller era, which is why I'm not enjoying romances right now. But we are officially DNFing a novel love story, so I'm not going to rate it. I will say that, like, again, I think that if you like the premise of like being put into like the main character being put into their favorite book and like getting to read about that and whatever, I think you might really enjoy the book. And I love Ashley Poston's writing, so like I said, I will go back and I am going to read The 7-Year Slip, and I am going to read The Dead Romantics, because I think that I'll really love both of those books. Because I've heard that Ashley Poston puts an element of magical realism into all of her books, so I'm excited about that. I think that that's really cool. She was not my favorite, but let's go back and just do like a wrap up of the rest of the books that I've read for this video. I read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I enjoyed it. It did not hit the way that I was hoping that it would, and my feelings about it really have not changed since reading it. I enjoyed it, and I think I would probably rate it like a 3.5 star still. It was good. There really wasn't anything like special about it in my head, if that makes sense, and it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it or whatever. I'm happy that I read it for sure, because I have been wanting to read, like I said, just more like new releases or whatever. So I'm happy that I read it. It was good. Was it great? No. Then I also read Bridesmaids for Hire by Megan Quinn. Again, another very enjoyable book. I think this was a better version of The Paradise Problem, because like I said, those two storylines are so similar, so reading them back to back, I don't recommend. I really don't. But I had more fun with this. Megan Quinn is always my queen. She's still my queen. Also, I love these end pages because they're so pretty. But anyways, my brain is not working right now. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Apparently there's another one coming out, and it's like something to do with Bridesmaids. It's coming out in August, so super excited about that. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to definitely be reading it. And then we also have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. This was the only thriller of the bunch that I read for this week, and I think this is like what sparked my thriller era. However, this felt more like a cozy mystery to me than like an actual thriller, because I had read Meet Me at the Lake by Riley Sager. Meet Me at the Lake, that's Carly Fortune. The House Across the Lake. I read that one by Riley Sager, and that one was like that one did not read like a cozy thriller or like a cozy mystery. This one just like, I think the stakes weren't that high, and there was only like maybe a page or two that was like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen? That was really it. The rest of the time you're just like trying to figure out like what happened to this kid, and that's really it. Very like Stranger Things. But I will say this one, like this writing style matched up the closest to Stephen King, like I talked about before, and I really enjoyed that. I think that's why I ended up really liking this book. It was because it was very reminiscent of Stephen King's writing, and I just love that. Stephen King is one of my favorite authors of all time. I absolutely love him, and so getting to read a book that was like kind of gave me the same vibes as that, I really, really enjoyed. Don't have anything other to say on the matter. I'm really upset that like I didn't have more like 5-star reads for this video. I was really hoping that reading new releases was going to bring on some 5-star reads, so I'm really sad that like I didn't have any for this video. But it's okay. It happens, and yeah, if you guys liked any of the books, or if you guys felt the same way about any of these books, let me know down in the comments, because I want to know. Other than that, that is going to be it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. If you guys want to see me on any other place on the internet, I will have all my links down in the description as always, so you guys can find me on other places in between videos here. And that's about it. I love y'all. I will see y'all later. Well, I'll see y'all in the next one.